So, we've got this really intense case from Springfield, Tennessee, right? It's one of those tragic stories where every detail just shocks you.
Absolutely. Shocking is definitely the word. What really grabs you about it?
Well, it's like you have Joseph Parker who, after calling 911, tells the dispatcher, I put her in the
Yeah.
freezer. Can you believe that? I mean, it's like a scene out of a horror movie, but so real.
Wow, that's chilling, really chilling. And he said that on a 911 call, right?
Exactly. He called at about 9 p.m. on November 10th, 2014, and, his statement was so bizarre. He mentioned he shot his wife, Samantha Parker, on their wedding anniversary at around 4 a.m. 2 days before the call. I mean, can you
Yep.
imagine how disjointed that timeline is?
Yeah, it's almost like everything is out of sync. First a shooting, then an attempt to put her in a freezer. What happened after that?
So, after the call, police eventually arrived at the home on Clydesdale Lane early in the morning around 2:30 a.m. And there, they discovered Samantha's partially dismembered body inside a freezer in the garage.
Uh
It's
huh.
as if the crime scene itself was set up with this macabre twist.
That's, really disturbing. And the fact that her body was, dismembered makes it even more tragic.
Definitely. It's like the act itself was conducted in a way that suggests utter desperation or even a complete breakdown in judgment. And then there's the detail of his later
Absolutely.
actions. He was on the run, wasn't he?
Right, he ended up committing suicide, didn't he?
Yes, he did. After a multi-agency pursuit that lasted about 13 hours while he was in Kentucky, on Interstate 65 near mile marker 12, he shot himself inside his car during a traffic stop. I think that
Hmm.
detail really adds to the overall tragic arc of the case.
It must have been a chaotic scene for all the law enforcement agencies involved. I mean, Tennessee and Kentucky officials, plus federal marshals. How rigorous do you think the investigation was?
Oh, very rigorous. The investigation is still uncovering the precise timeline of events. For instance, Detective Madison Burnett indicated that um, they aren't completely sure when exactly Samantha was killed or, like, how
Yeah,
long
I
she'd
get
been in the
that.
freezer. It's like there are layers of mystery here.
So the dismemberment and then discovery testify to a quite horrific method, but did they share any more about the condition of the home?
Yes, and here's an odd twist. The Parker home was described in a rather unsettling way as immaculate and not a speck of dust. It was like, strangely pristine despite the terrible event that occurred there.
Whoa, that's
It
bizarre.
almost feels like the cleanliness is in stark contrast with what happened.
Exactly. It's almost like the scene was so meticulously maintained in one part, but then disrupted by such a violent act. It just kind of, challenges our expectations about how crime scenes behave.
Right, and it's like he wanted to hide his actions behind a facade of normalcy, a clean home, but then his actions unravel everything. It's a real case of
Mm,
contrasting images, yeah?
absolutely. And interestingly, before all that, Joseph mentioned that he had even given Samantha some water, as if he still had some remnant of care or love for her. It's such a twisted element.
Yeah, that's something that really stands out to me. Like, even after committing such a horrific act, he even called for, paramedics to help her, saying she wasn't dead when he checked on her at around 1:30 a.m.
That's really perplexing. I mean, isn't it almost contradictory to perform these actions while asserting a kind of doomed care?
Exactly. It's almost, like he was conflicted in the aftermath. Maybe in shock, maybe in denial. Who
Right.
knows? It leaves us wondering about his mental state at that moment.
And then there are the autopsy and toxicology reports that were pending. Those should, in theory, give more clues about the timeline.
Yes, definitely. The pending autopsy on Samantha might reveal critical details about the exact time of death, which is crucial here. And the toxicology on Joseph might tell us if he was under the influence of any substances that could have affected his decision making. So many
Absolutely.
unanswered questions.
But I'm wondering, do you think there might be any discrepancies with his statement on the call? I mean, saying, I put her in the freezer seems so oddly matter-of-fact yet horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's as if he was trying to, externalize his guilt, sort of a chilling admission. But then, his calm description during the call is almost eerie, like a
I see what you
dissociation
mean.
from the reality of his actions.
Right, and it's this very calm delivery that makes you wonder if there's more underlying psychological disturbance than what meets the ear.
Definitely, it's like each detail adds a layer of complexity, a mixture of remorse, shock, and maybe, yeah, even denial. A very tangled
Yeah.
mix for sure.
Let's also talk about the timeline a bit. He shot her on their wedding anniversary at 4 a.m. Then, 2 days later, he called 911. That gap, how do you interpret it?
Well, that gap really raises questions about what happened in the interim. It's like, did he really believe she was dead, or was there some hesitant realization? When he checked on her around 1:30 a.m. and found she wasn't dead, it reveals a deep uncertainty or panic, right? Definitely makes you question his mental process.
And then, after the chilling 911 call, he immediately sort of disappears from the scene and later is involved in that pursuit, eventually leading to his suicide. That progression is so abrupt.
Right, it's like one moment he's confessing his actions, and the next moment he's on the run, caught in a high-speed chase with law enforcement from multiple agencies.
Absolutely.
And you can only imagine the pressure he must have been under.
Yeah, and his final act being a suicide during a traffic stop adds another layer of finality to the tragic narrative.
It is tragic. And the idea that he called saying, "I thought I had killed her," implies there was a moment of doubt, almost like he couldn't fully commit to the finality of his act. It's these lingering doubts that make the case so disturbing.
Right, but I'm a bit critical here. Don't you think his calm tone while stating all this might, suggest a premeditated nature rather than a spontaneous, emotionally driven breakdown?
That's a fair criticism. I mean, it's, contradictory in a way. On one hand, you'd think someone who commits such horrific acts would be in a state of clear emotional distress. But on the other, his tone was, measured and, strangely, detached.
Yeah.
It creates a sort of duality in his behavior that's really perplexing.
And then there's the detail about the home being so immaculate. It almost throws another wrench in understanding his mental state. I mean, it's as if he maintained a meticulous public front, despite the chaos he unleashed.
Exactly. It's like, a carefully maintained image that suddenly crumbles into this gruesome reality. It almost makes you wonder about the disconnect between public persona and private actions. It's a classic case of appearances being deceptive.
And what about the law enforcement's response? Multiple agencies, warrants, and investigations are all in play here. How do you think that impacts the narrative of the case?
It definitely shows the gravity of the situation. With agencies like the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the U.S. Marshals involved, it speaks to the severity and complexity of the case.
Yeah.
It's not every day that you see such a coordinated response.
Right, and that coordination probably helped piece together these confusing timelines and critical details. It's a tough case for any department to handle.
Absolutely. And it's such a tragedy on multiple levels. The loss of Samantha Parker, the self-inflicted end by Joseph, and the ensuing mystery that still lingers about what really went down. It's a cascade of tragic events that leaves so many unanswered questions.
And it really brings into focus the complexity of human behavior, how someone can oscillate between extreme actions and a sort of eerie normality.
Totally. It's like a glimpse into a fractured psyche, where reality and illusion collide in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
It's both fascinating and horrifying.
I mean, cases like this force us to grapple with the unpredictable nature of the human mind and all its contradictions.
Exactly. And, as tragic as it is, this case remains a stark reminder of how a single moment, or a series of moments, can spiral into an irreversible catastrophe. It's a conversation that's hard to forget.